Yeah, 3 weeks in a row, Summit was there. This time there was only one guy, Tom Garvey, and he got disrespected, though not to his face because he left.
I told him that was going to happen. He said goodbye to me and said, "If you leave, they're going to harass you." Because I guess he didn't care.
And he handed out something to them. He was really, he exceeded his 5 minutes, and well, this is what he said over there.
Chairman Mirabella, may I approach the bench to distribute a copy of my remarks?
Yeah, you can give it to the clerk. Thank you for calling this the bench, but this is not a legal proceeding. I do appreciate your...
However, I'm a novice. My name's Tom Garvey, and I represent the taxpayers of Summit, New Jersey, and I thank you for your time. I have a few remarks, but I thought as I was looking for the meeting time frame tonight, I saw something on your website. In fact, the first couple of sentences on it is a definition of a county freeholder. I thought I might read it to you. The freeholder, the title freeholder, was adopted in New Jersey during the colonial period, when only those who owned real estate free of debt were eligible to participate in elections or hold public office. And I thought that ironic, because I believe that representing, as I said, the taxpayers of Summit, I feel that we are moving further and further away from that description of freeholders. But let me just make a few comments on behalf, again, of the taxpayers of Summit. Our meeting several weeks ago at City Council at Summit, I asked a few questions of the group there, and what I found was that our current school budget for 2 years in a row in the City of Summit is going to increase by $0 to the great credit of a very strong school board and school board of estimates. And this year, our City of Summit municipal budget is going to increase under 1%. Around 1%, or $50 per household. I was informed during the meeting by our council president in Summit that the increase in the Union County tax levy on Summit will increase almost 10% this year. That's a result of a couple of factors, and you know them better than I. Increased spending, but also a reduction in ratables, which is happening throughout New Jersey. So if you can imagine, though, we are in the City of Summit aggressively managing our schools, aggressively managing our city budget, and coming up pretty much with a flat zero increase in the budget for the taxpayer. But then we turn, and in the county, which is the third part, I quoted Meatloaf's song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 of the 3 components of the Summit tax levy, the schools and the city, are very nearly flat, and the entire increase for the coming year, most of the entire increase will come from the county. And I thought, rather than just vent and express my frustrations, which are great, I'd just enumerate some of our concerns, and I've shared these in writing with you, but they include that New Jersey ranks #1 in median property taxes of over $6,500, and #1 in the percentage of income paid in property taxes. We have that distinction here in New Jersey. In New Jersey, average property taxes of $6,500 exceed the average New Jersey state income tax of $1,800 by 360%. So property taxes are the name of the game that we have to manage in the state of New Jersey here. Union County taxes rank in the top 5 out of 3,000 counties in the United States. That's a distinction I wish we didn't have here, but and Summit this year, as a result of the large increase, will be the #1 taxpayer in the #5 out of 3,000 counties in the highest tax state in the country. So we're upset about it, and we're trying to work with you along any avenue that we can to minimize the effect on us. Lower property taxes support diversity by providing stimulus to our senior citizens and to our first-time home buyers, allowing them to get into homes. Lower property taxes equal higher property values and the corresponding net worth of the citizens of the city of Summit and the state of New Jersey. There's a direct correlation. If you take a look at the math just on the 21 towns that comprise Union County. You'll see that relationship play out mathematically, where taxes are lower, property taxes are lower, property values are higher. It's an extremely important issue on the number one asset that all of us have, our homes. Union County taxes exceed the entire cost of the Summit local government. All of our schools, and we pay 100% of all the
Garvey,
expenses.
I'm afraid I'm not asking you not to comment.
Okay, may I, would you indulge me in a few minutes, please, Chairman? Yes, I will, thank you. So, it exceeds the cost of our police, our fire, our schools, our municipal workers, etc. So we're funding an additional town in addition to our own. Union County, the Summit city workers don't enjoy lifetime health benefits that were voted for Union County workers, so we're paying for Union County workers to receive benefits our own city workers do not have. In the entire school budget of $62 million for the Summit schools is less than the increase in the aid given to the Elizabeth School System. I will be quick, and I appreciate your indulgence. Maybe I'm getting my 10% worth, but I want to share with you a video. No, I apologize for that, Mr. Chairman. I do want to make, this is a true episode that played out earlier this month in Summit. I went to the Summit City Council meeting. We went through excruciating detail about all of the expenses that were being approved that night. There were $8.3 million of expenses that we looked at that night. And the detail associated with the $1.3 million of that was finite. There were invoices for petty cash. There were discussions about how often we clean our library rugs, those sorts of things. The total approved expenses that night were $8.3 million. Of that, $7 million was from the county, and it was accompanied by no receipts, no invoices, no explanation, no nothing. It was just our quarter of our annual payment, which is remarkable. And I think that I would ask then that you consider the following things. That is,
We have them here, Mr. Garvey.
okay, produce an austere budget.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm
We
sorry?
have them here. Your time is more than up.
All right, I guess.
We have the, each freeholder has a copy.
Okay, each, please do consider those carefully. I appreciate your time, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate all of your work.
Thank you, Mr.
Everyone.
Garvey.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing?
Okay, now, and then he left. This is him leaving.
And that's mandatory as of March.
And after that happened, there were a couple of them who, I'll do it in a row. This is what the freeholders had to say about it, and Summit.
I'm going to talk about Summit for a minute. And I just want to say again, I said 2 weeks ago after the people from Summit left, and I'm doing it again. I understand their pain and their issues with taxes, and everyone in New Jersey has issues with property taxes. We understand that. But for someone from Summit to come here and say that, and he didn't say this tonight, but it's on his little sheet that he handed out, that one of the things that they want to do is urge us to provide a 50% reduction in the county open space tax. It is really just on the edge of being disrespectful. Summit has received thus far, and I don't have the exact numbers, but they've received more than they've paid into the open space tax. And I think that everybody needs to know that. There are towns that haven't received as much as they paid into it, and there are some that have received more. Summit is one that has received more. So we need to, balance everything, not just, it's all numbers when you come down to the end. But people need to realize that the city of Summit is not being cheated by any stretch of the imagination, and that they are getting their fair share from the county government. And I think with that, I'll conclude my comments. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for
And they've been, I believe, 3 consecutive meetings speaking about the budget. And they're very pleasant, and while I disagree with a lot of what they're saying, they're very professional in what they're bringing forth. But I can't disagree with more, and Gerald Stanley mentioned the open space funding that they do receive. But the county government is, what the county dollars that come back into communities is not just simply, park money, courts, It's a county expense, it's a shared expense. The jail, it's a shared expense. The magnet school, which we're all talking about tonight, is a success. Residents aren't just coming from certain municipalities. Young people from all over Union County, from all 21 municipalities, are fighting tooth and nail to get into those schools because they're amongst the top schools in the countries, in this country. So we have to keep perspective when we're looking at our tax bills, because it's not just simply something that may be affecting, you know, a building in your community. Of the services we provide are to all Union County residents, and you know, whether you pay 10% of the tax levy or 1% of the tax levy, we're all entitled to those services. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Again, the open space thing. I mean, it's been explained before. Was the American Water $9 million? What did Summit really benefit from that? It's a rateable that's off their books, and they're counting this as Summit getting this huge boondoggle from the Open Space Trust Fund. No, the county now owns the American Water property, and Summit isn't getting any taxes out of there. You know, is this what they should be grateful for?
Yeah, plus they borrowed the money.
Right.
So I mean, Summit didn't get the money.
And there was another piece of property too. I think another one for $3 million.
There was other property.
But there are 2 points to be made here. First, the cluelessness of the freeholders, Hudak and whoever the other one was, I forgot. Scanlon for not recognizing it. Somebody told them that they put in more money. They believed it. They didn't
Even
realize
if
it.
they did, though, I mean, what difference does it make? The county supposedly has to purchase open space. They have to purchase it where it is. If it's in Summit, it's in Summit. If it's in Elizabeth, it's in Elizabeth. It didn't do Summit any favors. That's where the open space was.
And it'd be interesting to see if he did stay, if they'd say the exact same things. But
That's true.
You kind of wonder.
She did make a point. So Scanlon did make a point. Oh well, he left. He should have stayed. He should sit. Yeah, he should sit through all your mundane comments after we raise so many serious questions, and we have to sit and listen to you go on and on about nonsense for another hour of our lives. Just to sit there and listen to you. The man's busy. Had to go.
Well, not to her. I mean, BJ did bring up that thing about the Teen Arch.
Oh, they're mundane comments. Every one of them, they have to hear themselves talk. Shut up. Give them 5 minutes to speak.
Or at least respond to him when he's there.
Exactly. We say when he's there as he's speaking. Have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
In fact, they should meet with him. They should welcome him.
right.
They
That's
know
right.
what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're a success story. They should be begging them to help them. What are you doing that we're not doing? How do you maintain these tax rates? What can we do to do this? How did you do it? What help can you offer us? I'm sure someone would be happy to be on their committee,
Yeah,
budget committee or whatnot.
Yeah, Summit said, that's right. Summit said they're going to have a flat Board of Ed
Again,
and a flat muni. However, Part 3 is the county.
right, and it's supposed to be 10%.
Well, yeah, I don't know where 10% came from.
And they brought up, someone did this study years ago, and they came up that they got back 10 cents for every dollar they send Union County, and it was a pretty comprehensive study, and the county didn't participate, even though Summit politely extended invitation
Called
after
it a witch hunt,
invitation.
right? I think they
County
did.
manager at the time called it a witch hunt when it was done. They totally rejected their findings, and it's just politics. It's just political. It's just unprofessional, and it's just such a stark contrast to see these people from Summit go there with all their professionalism and respect, and they maintain
diplomacy.
their
That's right.
diplomacy and composure. They have such class.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it, and these freeholders it just shows you our government's a lesson for everyone to learn. Just watch how they treat Summit, how they disrespect the flippancy they have to this successful group of taxpayers that's coming to them and saying, look, we know how to do this. What can we do to help you do it? And just total flippancy and disrespect, and they throw nonsense at them. It's not even an intelligent argument that they come up with. It's just nastiness.
You know what, actually, Mr. Garvey, the Taxpayer Association, he actually, right at the end of the 5 minutes, so he started making recommendations, and he was speaking to the public, and he wanted to make recommendations in public, and they actually shut him down because it was over the 5 minutes, and he tried talking, and they just kept shutting him down. Now, I was in the same situation at one time with the budget meeting, where I had all these recommendations, and they shut me down. So I started really making a pain of myself, and they threw me out. I was thrown out twice. That was one of them.
Yeah,
He should have just kept talking.
well, here it is. Here's Bruce getting thrown out with the cop coming and, you know.
Oh, you have that somewhere?
Yeah, so, here,
There it is,
this is how they could have treated him.
Yeah, right. He should have just thrown me out.
Yeah, so maybe next week we'll have a scene like this. Maybe he'll try a different tactic. Or I was wondering what Summit could actually do to
Sue
get
them.
attention.
I think
You
they
don't pay your county taxes. It's simple. The towns collect the county tax, so you just don't send it in.
I have a proposal for
That's all.
Summit, something that's been on my plate and in the back burner, and I haven't really thought it through, and I'm not an attorney, but something to certainly be brainstormed by some civic group that is interested in holding the county accountable. The county is paying out over $1 million in salaries to the Open Space Trust Fund. That needs to be challenged, and I believe it needs to be challenged in court. I think the council needs to be sued over that. And with the lawsuit would come all sorts of yummy stuff, such as disclosure.
Oh, yeah. So people will start paying
Really
attention.
get to the bottom of the Open Space Trust Fund. Where did they come off paying out all these salaries? It's not how it started.
There's not an entity or a faction or a portion or a program that the
What
county
are
does that isn't corrupted
employees
somehow.
paying through the Open Space Trust Fund, and let's audit these employees. What portion are they doing for the Open Space Trust Fund that they're getting their entire salaries? And I think it's a lawsuit. A citizens group has to bring forth a lawsuit.
Should be
Could
a
be
law-
wrong. I'm not an attorney, but I think that's something certainly Summit could do to stir the pot a little bit.
Should be a lawsuit on that conflict of interest with Sullivan being the head of the budget committee.
That's a matter of the state, but
Well, it's a criminal enterprise, so I guess anything goes these days.
Well, I think it's mostly parks people. I have them listed out. I don't have them here. It's the Open Space Trust Fund, $1,138,000. And this is Burton Zittimer, who's being paid out of the Open Space Trust Fund.
the thing is, they're
Oh,
not
legal
just.
firm too?
No,
They're
he's a
not
county
just
employee.
working on acquired open space.
Right.
They're paying parks employees that are doing work in other parks that weren't acquired by open space.
Right.
It's just an issue that should be settled in a lawsuit in court. They should be challenged. They need to be challenged.
Maybe Wiener Lesniak.
Well, the point here is that if this were true, if what Burton Zittimer said were true, then the open space tax would have been set up in 1998, and nobody would have had to buy any open space. They could have used, in Union County's case, $10 million to pay their parks people back then. I mean, that was obviously not the intention of the law. They wanted to buy open space, but that's what Union County's doing because they can, and nobody's challenging them.
As they're being squeezed, they need to hide all these employees in all sorts of places. And open space is one of them, obviously.
Well, there's money there.
But is that a correct mandate of an open space trust fund? Should they be paying employees when it has absolutely nothing to do with the open space that they acquired? Even if it did, I don't see how they can justify paying over $1 million in salaries out of the open space trust fund. That's not how it started. That's not how it was sold to the public.
I thought it was $2 million. That's all right. Really,
It's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money.
Every year. No, it's $1 million. It's gone up. I checked this like a couple of years ago, and it was 800,000 worth of people, and I
When we
just checked it
started out, there
now.
was an open space trust fund administrator. Now I think we have an administrator and an assistant. Like, someone really needs to take a look at it.
Well, that's one thing someone can do. The other thing is really just not to maybe stay for the whole meeting. Maybe do it in shifts if you have to. Maybe somebody can come in at 9.
I don't see the
another 10.
point of it. I don't think they care that they get harassed after they leave because it just shows the freeholders how classless they are. I mean, I really think it's more damning. I say it all the time. We have no hope of reaching the ignorant, and that's who the freeholders appeal to. We can't reach those people. The intelligent people watch that at home, and they see how classless it is and what an underhanded political tactic it is when they behave that way. I can't see giving up another hour of your life to sit through those mundane comments. When BJ opened her mouth again at the end, I thought I would die. I just thought my head was going to implode.
That's
Like,
how
please
does,
shut up.
How does Kowalski talk? Wah, wah, wah.
Oh my
Well,
God.
for those of you who missed it
needs
on
to sit through
well,
that?
here it is. If I have it, here's what BJ said. You try to sit through this, and we'll end with this.
And with that, I will enter, yeah, Freeholder Kowalski.
your permission, I forgot to mention, we were talking about youth events coming up, and I just wanted to say that the Teen Arts Festival will be next month on March 15th and 16th, Thursday and Friday at the Cranford campus of Union County College. The college is kind enough to host this every year for quite a few years now, and that's one place to see the talent and creativity of youth from all of our schools.